Caitlin Clark just did something that no athlete has done since Michael Jordan.
Incredible. Congratulations to her and her family. Yeah. The crazy thing is...
Welcome back, basketball fans. Today, we're diving into a moment that's shaking up the sports world and redefining women's basketball as we know it. Caitlin Clark is front and center, and her groundbreaking deal with Wilson has ignited a buzz that feels reminiscent of the Michael Jordan era. She's not just making headlines, she's leaving a legacy that stretches far beyond the hardwood. But with her rapid rise comes a new wave of emotions across the league. While fans celebrate Clark's success, some veterans, including Angel Reese, are wrestling with a mix of admiration and frustration. So, what does Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise mean for the future of women's basketball? How is she rewriting the definition of success? And what ripple effects will this have on her peers? In this video, we'll unpack Caitlin's remarkable journey, the groundbreaking nature of her Wilson partnership, and the rivalries and tensions brewing in the wake of her success. If you're ready to dive into this new era of women's sports, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Caitlin Clark's story isn't just about talent, it's about transformation. From her days at the University of Iowa to her current dominance, she has captivated fans with her unmatched skill and charisma. Her rise has drawn constant comparisons to Michael Jordan, a reminder that her influence reaches beyond the court and into sports culture itself.
It was like Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, probably eventually Caitlin Clark, where it's like individual people make an entire country tune into their sport.
1,000%.
Like hockey was never bigger than when Wayne Gretzky was playing it, and it was ridiculous how much it grew the sport.
Tiger Woods.
In recent years, women's basketball has experienced a surge in popularity, and Caitlin Clark stands at the heart of it. Shattering records and stereotypes, she has forced the sports industry to reconsider how female athletes are valued. Her defining milestone came when she became the first female player since Michael Jordan to launch her own signature basketball line with Wilson, the official ball of the NBA and WNBA. This achievement cements her place alongside legends and represents a shift in the athletic landscape. The hype around her signature basketballs has been nothing short of electric. From the threes up, ball celebrating her shooting brilliance, to the record breaker, ball honoring her statistical dominance, each design tells a piece of her story. Much like Jordan's iconic partnership with Nike, Clark's collaboration with Wilson is more than branding, it's a cultural shift. Fans have responded with overwhelming enthusiasm. Her products have sold out in minutes, sparking the kind of frenzy usually reserved for iPhone releases or sneaker drops. Clark isn't just raising the bar, she's proving that women's basketball can generate mainstream demand on a global scale. And the impact goes deeper than merchandise. Clark has become the WNBA's ratings powerhouse, averaging over 1 million viewers per game, 3 times the league's norm. She's attracting Gen Z, re-engaging older fans, and turning women's basketball into must-watch entertainment. But with her rise has come tension. Some veterans, like Angel Reese, feel overshadowed, frustrated that the spotlight and lucrative deals are suddenly centered on one player.
Wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that. How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. It's so dumb. It looks like a soap opera.
It almost feels like a sports soap opera. Veterans who have poured years of blood, sweat, and sacrifice into the league now find themselves competing with Clark's celebrity-driven appeal. On the surface, some of the jealousy appears petty, but the reality is more complicated. These tensions don't just stem from Clark's stardom, they highlight deeper issues within the WNBA, from pay gaps to decades of undermarketing. For years, the league's culture has been built on toughness, resilience, and unity. Clark's arrival shifts the narrative to marketability, visibility, and cultural influence. That shift forces a choice. Veterans can embrace the new wave and ride the momentum forward, or risk being left behind. Clark's achievements aren't meant to diminish her predecessors. They expose systemic problems that have long held back women's basketball. And in doing so, they create opportunities for growth if the league can adapt.
Incredible. Congratulations to her and her family.
Yeah.
Like the crazy thing is I'm just seeing her last year when they played.
Perhaps the most powerful validation of Caitlin Clark's impact came from none other than Michael Jordan himself. When the greatest player of all time publicly acknowledged her achievements, it wasn't just praise, it was a call to recognize women's basketball as equal in importance and cultural value. Jordan urged the WNBA to fully appreciate what Clark is doing for the sport. His endorsement elevates her status beyond rising star and frames her as a trailblazer shaping the future of athletics. And the numbers back it up. Clark has joined Jordan in an exclusive class of rookies across NBA and WNBA history, averaging at least 18 points, 8.5 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 block, and 2 steals during the playoffs. She isn't riding on Jordan's coattails, she's carving her own legacy alongside him. Her journey represents more than athletic dominance. It symbolizes a cultural movement where women athletes are not only respected, but marketed and celebrated on a global stage. Sponsorships, media attention, and fan enthusiasm are converging to create unprecedented opportunities for the WNBA. Yes, Clark's rise has rattled some feathers, but it has also given the league its brightest spotlight yet. If embraced, her influence could inspire a new generation of athletes, elevate women's basketball into mainstream sports culture, and permanently shift how female athletes are perceived. The real question isn't whether Caitlin Clark can maintain her momentum, it's how far she'll take the game with her. Her story is still being written, and its impact will be felt for years to come. So, as fans, let's not just celebrate her highlights, we should recognize how she's catalyzing a broader transformation in sports. Caitlin Clark isn't just changing the WNBA, she's rewriting the future of women's basketball. Caitlin Clark's recent groundbreaking endorsement deal, already being hailed as the Michael Jordan-level contract of the women's basketball world, has not only redefined the trajectory of her career, but has also sent shockwaves throughout the WNBA landscape, igniting conversations, rivalries, and emotional reactions that highlight both the promise and the pressure that comes with being a generational talent. And while the business world, the sports world, and Clark's ever-growing fanbase are celebrating this monumental achievement, one of the most scrutinized and talked about responses has come from none other than her on-court rival and media counterpart, Angel Reese, whose own emotional journey in response to Clark's meteoric rise, and particularly to this massive deal, has exposed the layered dynamics of competition, visibility, and respect within women's basketball. Because this is not just about sneakers, sponsorships, and big checks, it's about who is allowed to be the face of the league, whose narratives dominate headlines, and how athletes like Reese, who herself has cultivated a polarizing yet influential persona, react when another player's ascent feels both inspiring and overshadowing at the same time. And if we break it down, Caitlin Clark's deal with Wilson, which mirrors the iconic Air Jordan brand partnership that revolutionized men's basketball and sneaker culture, represents the first time a young WNBA player has been placed into such a transcendent cultural category, instantly transforming her from a college sensation and WNBA rookie into a brand powerhouse whose name, image, and signature line of products will not only generate millions in revenue but also forever alter the business model of women's basketball endorsements. Because while previous stars like Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, and Maya Moore were icons of the game, none were positioned this early in their careers to become the kind of cross-market, global superstars Clark is being groomed to be. And this is where Angel Reese's reaction becomes so fascinating, because Reese, who has carved her own reputation as the Bayou Barbie, unapologetically embracing glamour, competitiveness, and controversy, is no stranger to media attention. But when faced with Clark's Jordan-esque moment, her emotional response, ranging from admiration to frustration to outright competitiveness, exposes the underlying tension between celebrating another woman's success and feeling the sting of being left out of the same level of recognition. And it's important to understand that Reese and Clark's rivalry did not begin in the pros. It started in college, when their clashes during the NCAA tournaments became cultural events, sparking debates about race, style, sportsmanship, and the way the media chooses to frame female athletes. with Reese famously taunting Clark during LSU's national championship win, a gesture that went viral and cemented the rivalry in the eyes of fans. And now, with Clark being showered with historic deals and endorsements, Reese's emotions are amplified because for every headline about Clark's record-breaking contract, there are questions about why Reese, who has also drawn millions of viewers and created viral moments, has not received the same level of financial validation. And while Reese has secured her own endorsement deals with brands like Reebok and luxury lifestyle sponsors, the Wilson-Clark deal feels different. It feels epic. And that's where the emotional sting lies, because Reese, competitive by nature, is not content to be second to anyone, much less a rival she is both bested and been bested by on the court. And in interviews and social media posts following the Clark Wilson announcement, Reese's body language, tone, and carefully chosen words reveal a cocktail of emotions: pride in what it means for women's basketball, frustration at being comparatively sidelined, determination to prove herself, and subtle digs at the way narratives always seem to tilt in Clark's favor. And this emotional transparency is exactly what makes Reese so compelling to fans and media outlets. She doesn't hide her feelings. She doesn't mask her competitive fire with platitudes. Instead, she leans into the drama, knowing full well that her authenticity, even when it comes off as envy, feeds the very machine that keeps her relevant. And this cycle, Clark's ascension, Reese's emotional response, the media amplification, creates the perfect storm for the WNBA because it draws attention, generates clicks, sparks debates on ESPN panels, and keeps fans invested not just in the games, but in the personal journeys of these athletes. And here's the kicker: Clark's Jordan-like deal doesn't diminish Reese. It actually elevates her too. Because every league needs rivalries, every superstar needs a foil, and Reese's raw, emotional reaction makes her the perfect counterpart, ensuring that no matter how high Clark rises, Reese remains right there, challenging her, responding, keeping the spotlight shared if not always equal. And when you zoom out, you see the bigger picture. Caitlin Clark is rewriting the rules of what it means to be a WNBA rookie, forcing brands to bet big on women's basketball, drawing new fans to arenas, selling out tickets, and breaking viewership records, while Angel Reese, through her emotional candor and fierce competitiveness, ensures that the story is never just about one woman, but about the larger movement that is finally giving women athletes the stage they deserve. And as much as the headlines may say Clark exposes Reese, the reality is that Reese's emotional reaction exposes the cracks in the system, the ways in which race, marketability, and media narratives play a role in who gets crowned the face of a league and who gets cast as the challenger. But make no mistake, Reese is not fading into the background. If anything, her emotions are fuel, and if Clark is the Jordan of this generation, Reese is determined to be the Isaiah Thomas, the competitor who refuses to let one narrative dominate without a fight. And that is why this moment, this deal, and this reaction matters so much, because they represent not just a business transaction but a cultural turning point in women's sports, one that fans, sponsors, and athletes will be dissecting for years to come.